I know a lot of you guys have been asking about this, and it is finally here. Plarium has released the 2024 in review. Sadly, it's not as good as some of the other ones in the past where it's not as personalized, but at least it is here. Welcome in. My name is PJ, and let's go over it. So we're going to take a quick look at the general overview, and then we'll be taking a look at my personal overview, which I think will be pretty interesting. So just off the rip, it does say that disclaimer in Classic Arena, Platinum tier players only wins once in a week. Top player list is based off of number of weekly victories. And then a lot of these are based off of, I believe, mid-March of 2025. So it says note, the data displayed in this section covers the metrics gained from the time between the feature's release and mid-March. So it's not really just a 2020 or 2024 review. There is some 2025 in there as well. So I just wanted to get that out of the way first. You guys might have not seen that, but let's go over it. So Live Arena, most banned characters in each league. We have Bronze, Sun Wukong, Silver, and Gold. We have Arbiter. Bronze, I think that definitely makes a lot of sense. Sun Wukong is probably the most popular starting character code, and he's really good in Arena. Brings the speed aura bonus for Arena. Really good nuker, tough to take out because he keeps coming back alive, so that really makes sense. For Silver and Gold, a little surprised it wasn't someone like Armand's maybe, but again, Arbiter is someone that every single person gets. Armand's was a fusion where if you didn't get the fusion or didn't pull him, then it's going to be tough to get. So I do see it kind of making sense where it's a free champion that everyone's going to get and really good for Arena. Usually people's fastest champions are Arbiter, and if you ban the fastest champion and you win the speed race, then you have a good shot of winning. So kind of makes sense as Arbiter. It would be interesting to see if after this year, if it's someone different. Maybe it's Marius because more people will be getting Marius and he's really good in live. Or maybe it will be Armand's, or maybe it'll still be Arbiter. Who knows, but hold up guys, now is the perfect time to click on my link in the description and get a free Karato as well as 4 more insane free epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Step 1, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to the inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on your chance to get a free Karato after signing up, as well as Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. So click on my link right now and let's crush this together. So let's look at Plat Arena, number of unique winners in Plat. So 52 weeks in a year, there's one Plat reset every week, so 52 resets. Only 18 winners in 52 weeks. Kind of a little surprising. I feel like it's a little low, but I guess it just shows that it's pretty common to win again and again. I would say it's more rare to have someone that's never won before than it is to have someone to repeat. It looks like it's a lot of repeat customers, repeat winners. So I guess it makes sense that the best accounts just keep winning. It'd be nice to see a little bit more variety, but not much we can do about that. Just depends on who's got some good luck and better game plan that week. Top 4 players in Arena. You got a Full, Constant, Infinite, and Timid. All great accounts, good players. So this is pretty interesting. Total active clans, 32,000 clans, not bad. Total gold spent, 24 billion. Amount of clan boss rewards doubled. Looks like 229 million. That's 72% of all Demon Lord chests, which is also kind of surprising. That means almost 1/3 of people aren't getting double chests, which I feel like is kind of a lot. 1/3 of people not getting double Demon Lord. I wonder what you guys think about that. Hopefully everyone in the comments and watching this are getting double chests, but maybe if you're really early and new, it would be tough. That's something that definitely should be working towards. Hydra, number of Hydra heads cut off. Big number, almost 300 million. Hydra head that was cut off the most. Mischief kind of makes sense to help reset the turn meter. Chimera, one of the newer game modes. Again, this is all to mid-March 2025. Champions and Chimera most used. Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare Brutal. Lydia makes sense. She just brings so much to your team. Trials, debuffs, buffs. Very, very strong. And then Ninja being on the easier side, the normal, easy, and hard. Makes sense. He was given out for free earlier, like last year. So most people got him again, or they got him when they first came around 4 years ago. So he's a pretty common champion to have, and he's really good at doing damage to bosses early on. So I could see him being paired up with maybe Mikage, or just even by himself on the earlier stages being pretty good. Definitely Lydia being the top for the Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare, and Brutal. I could see she just brings so much to the team. Very hard to replace. Siege battles. So it looks like I think there's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. So 10 clans have not lost at all. pretty impressive. 18 total wins. If you look, there's some level 21s, a couple level 16, some level 20s. So it looks like it's kind of throughout the board. It's not all just max level clans, which is pretty cool to see. Siege damage, the percentage of strongholds that remain intact, 60%. And it's kind of, I don't really care about too much about these. Most popular saw modifier, only support. That's cool. Relics, total relics crafted. That's almost, what, 10 million. Less than 3,000 mythical relics, which is pretty interesting. So not that many. And then most crafted legendary, the Cascades. That makes sense because in that group, the event group, that's the only legendary you can get. So it makes sense that people were getting a lot of the Cascades. So this is what I want to talk about a little bit. Cursed City completion. Players who have cleared every stage of hard Cursed City each month. Who cares about this stat? Like, if I'm understanding this stat correctly, this is when Cursed City first released to up to date now, people that have never missed a stage. Who cares? Who cares if you've completed every single stage? This should be how many people are currently completing last month's Cursed City or the past 2 Cursed Cities. Only the tippity tip top of Wales, like again, 47 people have completed it every single month. Who cares? This is a wasteful stat. Really stupid. I am kind of annoyed that they put this. Seems really dumb. I want to see who's being able to do it further and completing it now versus obviously when it first came out, it was really hard. No one really could do it. Not that many people. Only 47 people could do it. So it's not about who could do it beginning. It's about who can do it now and how much have they progressed. So I wish this was a little bit different of a stat and this showed how many people completed it the past 5 months or something like that versus every single month. I think this is really a dumb stat and no one should care about this. And then champions fused. Total Mikage, Lady Mikage fused. There's 100,000 Mikages. And then only 14,000 mods. I think that's kind of concerning. I feel like that's really low versus how many Lady Mikages there are. I wish there would be better opportunities and chances to be able to get mod outside of just turning in fragments. Because someone like me who does every single fusion, I'm never going to get her. Because like I said, I do every fusion, so all my fragments go into the fusion and not getting mod. So with her being pretty good, I wish there was a little bit more of a way of opportunity of getting her. I think this is really low, only 14,000. I think that's a little bit concerning versus 100,000 of Mikage. She's a mythical, she's only a legendary, and it's way harder to get mod. Granted, Mikage is a lot better. I think I'm happy it's almost easier to get Mikage, but it is a little concerning that it's that few people actually have collected mod. And then the most fused champion, I think Thor makes sense, especially because he was collaboration fusion. A lot of people came in or started playing raid maybe because of the Thor fusion. Armand's might have been up there too. I can see people going really hard for Armand's. But I understand Thor being up there and being the most fused just because he's already a thing. People already know Thor. He's recognizable. All of the Asgard champions, I think, are really nice, and it was cool that they added them, so I definitely could see why he was the most fused and the most popular. So that's just a quick breakdown of the overall, and now let's do a little personal, and then I have a little surprise where we're going to compare my stats to one of the bigger spenders in my clan and see how their stats look. So Arena wins. Classic Arena we did just over 10,000, Tag Arena we did just under 8,000, and then Live Arena, I've said this in a few other videos, I took a big break from Live Arena, so we're under 1,000. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have a lot more Live Arena wins or Live Arena fights than me. Been a little bit of a slacker for the Live Arena. And then let's come down to the dungeons clear. I think this is pretty interesting. I am very, not consistent, but I guess similar stats on all of these. I think it's pretty interesting. I wonder what you guys have on yours. Definitely let me know in the comments how you guys compare to my stats, and especially to the stats I'm going to show you guys here in a second. But for Dragon's Lair, we did 2,500. For Ice Golem Peak, we did 2,400, almost 2,500. This is almost 2,600. For Fire Knight, we did 2,500. For Spider, we did 4,000, so that makes sense. We did more Spider than the rest of them. And then Sand Devil, we did 3,500. And then Phantom Shogun, we actually did 1,200. I've seen a few other people's dungeon clears, and I think a lot of people are way under on the Shogun. I'm definitely low on the Shogun. That might be one of the reasons why they finally added the Shogun tournament or in the Gear Ascension tournament, because they saw how big of a discrepancy people were putting into Sand Devil versus Shogun, so it's kind of interesting. Clan Boss, we did 1.99 billion. For total damage in Hydra, we did 272.2 billion. And then for total damage in Chimera, we did 8.64 billion. Not bad. Artifacts, I think these are a little wonky depending on how many, if you use multi-battles or not. I use RSL helper. So artifacts sold, we had almost 50,000 artifacts sold. Artifacts obtained, we had 34,000. A little bit wonky, not sure how those numbers really add up, but that's what I have. And then other, we have legendary champion summoned. We have 43 legendary summoned for myself. And then total gems collected, 5,494, almost 5,500 gems. So pretty interesting. Hopefully they will do this same like format at the end of this year and we can compare, which would be really nice to see what we did last year versus this year for dungeons clears, arena wins, all that kind of stuff, champions. I would like to see them in the future break this down to be even more in depth. I think they could do a lot more with this. So I think this is a good start. I did like the previous videos better where it was way more personalized, but I do think this is a cool thing to look at. And if they update it more recently or they update it more frequently, I think it would be really, really cool. So now I want to take a look at one of my clanmates' stats. Now, to be warned, he is a big spender, big kraken, big whale, but I just wanted to let you guys see some of these numbers that some of these big accounts are doing, just so you can kind of compare and be like, wow, it really is almost a different game than what they're comparing to. And even myself, I would say I'm a low spender, medium, like probably low medium spender, more on the low side. Definitely nothing crazy. These numbers are just blow me out the water. So I'm very interested to see what your numbers compare to my numbers and then what your numbers compare to these I'm about to show you here in a second. So it is a little blurry. I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger here. So classic arena, we have 11,000 fights to my 10,000. So pretty close in the arena. 11,000 classic arena, 11,000, almost 12,000 tag, and then 2,000 live. He definitely has me in the live arena. But here's where things really start to change. So the dungeon clears. Dragon's Lair, almost 40,000 Dragon's Lair runs or clears. Ice Golem, 7,000. Fire Knight, 33,000. Spider, 7,000, almost 8,000. Sand Devil, 42, almost 43,000. And then Phantom Shogun, 20,000. So if you want to know where people are where endgame and late game players are putting their energy, now this doesn't have an event dungeon. I wish they would have had an event dungeon statistic, because that would be very interesting to see how much they did for pinpoint. But I'm sure most of these were during 3x or 2x speed, and then were probably during a 3x savage. Not really much spider, which is kind of interesting. They have a lot of silver on the account already, and they're really picky with their gear, so I'm assuming they don't really need to farm spider to get silver. They're probably getting silver from farming Sand Devil and Shogun, which is kind of crazy to say, but I'm pretty sure that's what's happening, is they're not even really doing spider anymore, and they're getting most of their silver from Sand Devil and other areas. But pretty interesting, 40,000 and 33,000 for Dragon Slayer, Fire Knight, and only 7,000, less than 8,000 for Spider compared to these other numbers. So then we got the Clan Boss. We have total damage for Demon Lord, 329 billion. Total damage for Hydra, 2.72 trillion. That is a T, not a B. Make sure you guys are double checking that. 2.72 trillion damage on Hydra. And then Chimera, we have 18.42 billion. Again, try to look at some of these numbers compared to your numbers and just the different world that some of these accounts are in. And then we got artifacts. So artifacts obtained, 192,000. Artifacts sold, 211,000 versus my measly 34,000. So he's just blowing it out of the water how much gear they're getting and how much gear they're farming. And then for legendary summoned, they have 500 and almost 60 summoned or legendaries they summoned. And then total gems, I think almost exactly the same amount of gems that I have. They have 5,495. I have 5,494. So very, very close to the gems, which is interesting. I guess everyone's probably gonna have pretty similar gems depending on how much you play, because it's kind of like a set number and it gets locked out. But I thought it was really interesting seeing this. They posted it in our Discord, and I saw this. I was like, wow, definitely want to kind of do some comparing and contrasting, and then let you guys compare and contrast and see just kind of the difference, what these big accounts and these big whales and krakens and how much energy they're using and putting into these areas. I think it's very cool to see. I will leave the link for the editor to go to this website. If you guys are not familiar or don't have the website to get the recap, hopefully it will be in the comments section and you can check it out there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment, leave a subscription. We are closing in on 500 subscribers. That would be awesome if we could hit that goal soon, and then halfway to 1K, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. Hope you have a good rest of your day/night, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.